This is Ruger LCP II 22 long rifle, the best LCP. In today's video, we're taking another look at the Ruger LCP II 22 long rifle, and we're going to make the argument that the 22 caliber version of the lightweight compact pistol is the best version of the lightweight compact pistol. Let's first see that pistol in action before we make our argument. And now, let's hit the range! Top right-hand target. Okay, 10 rounds. We'll have to review it on the camera. I can't tell if all 10 are in that splotch a little left and low of the bullseye, but it's possible. All right, 2 magazines, successful through both, 0 failures, what we like to see. So here we go. All right. For our new viewers who haven't seen a previous video on the Ruger LCP in 22 caliber, let's first break down the numbers and features on this firearm. The Ruger LCP II in 22 long rifle is a pocketable semi-automatic pistol chambered in 22 long rifle. It is 5.2 inches long, 4 inches high, 0.81 inches wide, and weighs in at a lean 11.2 ounces unloaded. The firearm features a 2.8-inch alloy steel barrel and is blowback operated. It uses Ruger's secure action trigger and also has a thumb safety on the left side of the frame. For sights, the firearm has integrated anti-glare front and rear sights. Here you can see a close-up of those sights. You'll notice that they are neither adjustable nor easily replaceable. Another note here is in our sight picture view, you may notice that I have painted that front sight red to make it stand out a little more versus the standard anti-glare black sight. The Ruger secure action trigger is a hybrid between a single action and a double action trigger, giving the shooter consistent trigger pull between one round and the next. It also incorporates a Glock style shoehorn safety that some users are a fan of. Off my gauge, the trigger pull comes in at 4.5 pounds. The thumb safety on the firearm is on the left side of the frame. When the safety is to the rear of the firearm, the safety is engaged. When the safety is towards the front or muzzle of the firearm, the safety is disengaged. Being chambered in 22 long rifle allows the firearm to be in the easy rack category of firearms. It also has very low recoil. These two features make it more accessible to those with hand strength or mobility concerns. Now that we have the details out of the way, let's begin our arguments on why we think the 22 version of the lightweight compact pistol is the best version. The first is going to be fun. Very few people are going to think the centerfire 380 versions of the lightweight compact pistols, from the original first-gen LCP to the current LCP Max, are very fun to shoot. In fact, most people would probably say they're unfun to shoot. The 22 caliber version, on the other hand, many people will think that's a very fun firearm to shoot.
2.
You probably didn't pick up all the shots.
3.7.
3, 2. Man, I call it cheaties. I call it cheaties.
What?
You had like a electric trigger pulling device. Don't forget to like and subscribe so Freddy gets his biscuits. We did mix in the rapid fire clips to go with the fun clips. Many shooters of the .22 caliber LCP will be able to shoot it much more rapidly than they do the centerfire versions. Which brings us to our next part, accuracy. Not only on the rapid fire shooting, but even doing measured shots, the majority of shooters of the LCP, the centerfire versions, will struggle to put more than just what we'll call shotgun groups on a target beyond contact range. The .22 caliber version of the LCP, on the other hand, is capable of some very accurate, precise shots. Got it. As you can see from our brief trip to the .22 range, where we shot some gongs out at 50 yards, the LCP-22 is capable of doing consistent 50-yard shots. I would struggle to do a 50-yard shot with the LCP that wasn't luck, whereas with the .22 caliber version of it, I can consistently do those 50-yard shots, even on those 1.5-inch jumping jack spinners out there. I believe that comes down to a combination of factors. Being low recoil in .22 caliber, the firearm is more forgiving to where you don't need to have a perfect grip. You just need to find a straight trigger pull, and once you've found that, you can shoot the firearm very effectively. Now let's move to the biggest elephants in the room, reliability and performance on a non-paper target. Yes, the .22 caliber version of the LCP is going to be the least reliable of the LCPs. However, if you find ammunition that it likes, it can still be a very reliable pistol. In my case, I mostly, or almost exclusively, shoot mini-mag ammunition out of it because it works in my firearm and it functions well. I can go 300, 400, 500 rounds without having a single failure, which, while is similar in performance to a centerfire LCP, with my LCP, I can't remember the last time I had a failure, which tells you how reliable that is given how much we shoot that pistol. Now, with ammunition that it likes, you can get, as I said, very good reliability with the pistol, but can you get decent enough penetration to consider the firearm for self-defense purposes? Let's check out a ballistics gel test we did recently with that CCI Mini-Mag ammunition. The CCI Mini-Mag Varmint, which is one of the ammos that my LCP II prefers, has a 36-grain copper-plated hollow point. The advertised velocity on the box is 1,260 feet per second for 126.9 foot-pounds of energy. I was unable to locate the barrel length for that test, though safe to assume it's some rifle-length barrel. Out of the 2.8-inch barrel of our LCP II, our average achieved velocity comes in around 907 feet per second for 65.7 foot-pounds of energy. As expected, quite a bit less energy than what we would get out of a rifle. When it comes to that ammo's performance against a ballistics gel block, out of the 2.8-inch barrel of our LCP II, the 36-grain copper-plated hollow point yielded 12 inches of penetration in our ballistics gel block, with little to no evidence of hollow point expansion on the projectile. That's likely due to the fact that this ammo is engineered for use in a rifle more than, say, a self-defense pistol. There are probably people watching today's video who expected that little .22 caliber bullet to just bounce off the face of our ballistics gel block. They were probably a little surprised to see that bullet go a good 12 inches into our block. That puts it on par with some of the popular 9mm, .380, and other ammunition out of a short-barreled pocketable pistol. The one thing it didn't have was any expansion to mention. No expansion as far as I could tell. Though, I think the counterpoint to that is, even if there was expansion, your shot placement is going to matter a whole lot more than how much expansion your little 40-grain projectile yields. There is ammo out there that does even better in the penetration department than the CCI Mini-Mag Varmint. Something like Federal Punch, for example, we saw go completely through our ballistics gel block when fired through the LCP 22. Though the reason it's not more than just a footnote in this video is, at least the LCP 22s that I have access to, none of them function with Federal Punch reliably. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Though, like many other pocketable 22s out there, the LCP has ammo that it likes and others that it doesn't like. So luckily for us, it likes CCI Mini-Mag, though unfortunately it doesn't like something like Federal Punch. It is what it is. Let's move to the final thoughts in today's video. The LCP 22 is an accurate, if you find ammunition that likes reliable pistol. It's very easy to conceal, very easy to shoot. Being .22 long rifle, it's also in the easy rack and low recoil class, which will be huge wins for those who need that low recoil, easy rack firearm out there. While it doesn't have the same reliability as some centerfire firearms, unfortunately, again, with ammunition it likes, it can still be an extremely reliable pistol. And unlike many of the pocketable centerfire pistols out there, thanks to its .22 caliber nature, low recoil, it can be much more accurate and easier to shoot. One way the crew likes to phrase it is, you can do that swarm of bees, or I should say swarm of killer bees at your target. Yeah, with my LCP, I might be able to do 2 or 3 or 4, maybe 5 shots in the same time span. Though with the LCP 22, I can unload the entire magazine and have greater than 90% of those hits be in the zone that I'm aiming at, which there are a few firearms I can do that with even at a slow measured pace. So all in all, while the LCP II might not be as reliable as some of its centerfire brothers, it's got more assets in its favor than not. Just might be the perfect LCP, and if it's not, it's at least the best LCP. Well anyway, that seems like the perfect spot to end today's video. If you enjoyed the presentation, like the video, share it with your friends and family, drop a comment. Those things are free, and they really help the channel greatly. If you'd like to help us make more of these videos in the future, look into becoming a member. Fred and I really appreciate you getting this far. Thanks for watching. As always, have a good night. If you haven't been to our website in a while, check out TheBaconNation.com. Not only do we post recent video links to our website, but we also have many of the graphics featured in our videos, like say if you're looking for information on the ADX Cheetah, you can see the graphics that we've used, how some of the ammo has performed we put through the firearm, and comparison images comparing it versus a number of different firearms. Like for example, how does the ADX stack up size-wise versus the Bodyguard 2.0, and a link to a recent video featuring the firearm. Besides 380s, there's also a section for the other non-380 firearms that we're shooting, like say the CZ P09C Nocturne that we've shot in a few videos now, some comparison images, as well as links to recent videos. If you like our ammo test, much of the ammo that we've tested so far now has a page on our website. So for example, if you're curious about the Aguila mini shells we recently put through their paces, here are the graphics from that video, along with a link to that video. Some of the breakdown graphics that we don't currently have a dedicated page for, you can also see the graphics for from recent videos, as well as random wildlife pictures if you're into that kind of thing. So again, check out TheBaconNation.com.